Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Kay back with another video today, and welcome back to Chaptervis TV. Today we will be discussing Latto because I don't know if it's just me, but ever since she actually became a thing, I haven't been able to really get into her. You know, you would think I would like her because we from the same city. Like, okay, we get it. You're from Clayco, which isn't even Atlanta, by the way. But damn, I can't vibe with Latto, mainly because of the show that she was on, the rap game. The rap game to me put her on, but it also made her look a little corny. Okay, true story. Okay, when I was in ninth grade, the rap game came to my pep rally. A famous person going to our school. Not really famous now so much, but back then he was still freshly hot. Ricky Hawk, also known as Silento. You know, all of that controversy right now, in the news about him potentially murdering his cousin. Ooh, child. Anyways, I'm not sure if Ricky knew Jermaine Dupri outside of the rap game or, if they knew each other personally. But in the episode of the rap game, Ricky is showing Jermaine and the other contestants around the school. And by the way, I won't be calling him Silento because I only know him as Ricky. Okay, that's the only name that we called him in high school. So when I say Ricky, I'm talking about Silento. Anyways, Jermaine says that he wanted the contestant to perform in front of a huge crowd. Okay, so he felt like the school was the perfect place to do it. The pep rally begins, and remember, this is when they were filming for the rap game, the actual show. So we couldn't have any phones or we couldn't record it. So this was before anybody even really knew who Latto was. But here is when I met Latto, back when she was Miss Mulatto. Very controversial name to use, but we'll let it slide just for now. Anyways, this is where the story really begins for her. Now, why do I think she's corny for going on this show? Well, first off, I want you to understand that I know it was just for a come up. But I think if Latto was as talented as she thought she was, your talent alone should be able to take you wherever you want to go, no matter the circumstance. It pushed her in a really good way. A few years go by and it's 2019. Latto released her single Bitch from the South, signing with RCA that same exact year after Success Underground. The single was a success for her to be an underground rapper at the time, peaking at number 95 on the Billboard Hot 100, later having Trina and Sweetie to join her on the remix. The following year, 2020, Latto released Moo Wop with Gucci Mane, another single following behind Bitch from the South. These songs would end up being certified platinum and go on to appear on Latto's freshman album, Queen of the South, released late 2020. Latto will also be making an appearance in Cardi B's WAP, August 7th, 2020, and then that same exact day, her and NLE Choppa dropped their collab, something we never even asked for, titled Make 'Em Say. So at this point, Latto is making a name for herself in the industry, but controversy will soon be following Latto shortly after. Now, remember when I said her name was Miss Mulatto? Yeah. She would be facing a lot of controversy around that name. Mulatto was a term that was used during slavery. It's a term to describe mixed race people with white and black roots. So she considered a name change, okay, due to her awareness of colorism and how real it actually is.
Okay, because your name is very interesting, Miss Mulatto. And when I first heard it, I'm like, that's a word I don't hear very often.
Right.
So I actually looked it up in Wikipedia. I mean, I've definitely heard it, but I'm like, I haven't heard it being used in everyday speech. So I actually looked it up in Wikipedia, and it says mulatto is a term to refer to a person's born of one white parent and one black parent, or a
Correct.
person is born to a mulatto parent or parents. In English, the term is today generally confined to historical context, meaning that it's not used anymore.
Right, correct.
Yeah, English speakers of mixed white and black ancestry seldom choose to identify themselves as mulatto. So it's just an old term.
Yeah, it's definitely a historic term, and it originally was a derogatory term. It's not even something that people would want to call themselves. But for me, it's deeper than just saying, "Oh, I'm mixed. That's why my name is mulatto." It using the derogatory past. Like, I used to be kind of insecure about how I looked. I hated my hair texture growing up, and having to go to school and people look at me like, "Oh, she thinks she all that. Why she's so bright?" Stuff like that. I took that negative energy and made something positive out of it. Hence my movement being Miss Mulatto to today. So it's kind of like a double metaphor, not literally mulatto meaning I'm mixed, mulatto meaning the term that was once a negative word that I'm using in a positive light now.
Okay, I mean, was it actually negative? I mean, could it be compared to like the N word and so forth?
Yeah, it definitely could is a similar term to like the N word. It was like a racial slur to mixed people.
Okay, so once you started using that name, how did black people react to that?
Oh, people, I get I get flack to this day for that name. Like when I do shows and there's like older people in the crowd that kind of are more aware of the term, they will be like they even used to come up to my parents like, how dare you let our car self this, you know what I'm saying? But for me it's not that deep. It's me embracing who I am. And it's hard to express to someone that wouldn't know the struggles that mixed people do experience. So it's kind of something that I just brush off my shoulders now. I don't even care to explain it to people. You wouldn't understand it because you don't live there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when you have an angry older black person confronting your father, who's also black, about letting his daughter use this name, how did your father react to it?
At first I would say definitely at first they it was the same with me, like you're all in your feelings, you know, very emotional at first, trying to explain to somebody why I call myself this, but eventually like we took it and ran with it and it's like you're not gonna understand it. Period. You're not gonna understand it. It's something that me and my family experienced as a biracial family. So it's not even worth explaining or breaking down to anybody.
Yeah.
It was the name or whatever. So now I'm like, okay, my intentions was to never like glorify being mulatto. So if that's how it's being perceived, people think like, oh, I'm saying, oh, I'm better because I'm mulatto, or my personality trait is mulatto. Like I think that's how they're taking it. So if that's not my intentions, then I need to change the matter at hand, which is the name change or whatever. So that is happening. But still being real, I feel like that's not just something where it's like, oh, I changed my at name on Twitter, I changed my at name on Instagram, and boom, name change. Like I feel like it's something that needs to be a bigger production. Like I need to be able to speak on it and people hear me out and like basically like how I'm doing now, so they can hear. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do it deeper than just like make a tweet like, oh, I'm changing my name to da 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 in the story. I feel like that's not sensitive enough to the subject matter. Right. And I love that you're expanding on that. You know, I love that you are able to talk about that openly and understand that it does have like controversial meanings behind it, and that you're even considering that. That shows that you're really in tune with your audience, and you know, like you don't want that association. Right. Say read the room. Right. Read the room. No, I love it. So, are there any ideas as to what your name change might be? Have you thought about it? Yeah, I do know what I want it to be. And I know how I want to do it. But like I said, it's just gotta be. I think it's deeper than just.
But soon again, rumors started going around on Twitter saying that Latto thinks that colorism doesn't exist. And she was absolutely pissed when she heard that going around on Twitter, saying this: I would never say no shit like colorism doesn't exist. Please stop with the false narrative. And I kind of agree with this because I think people wanted Latto to be a colorist. Like they wanted a problem with her. Like they wanted to find a reason to pick with Latto. I mean, you could pick with her about not being original, but you cannot pick with people about being racist. Like to me, that is just, it's really over the top to be wanting to, try to pin racism on somebody. Like that is just crazy to me. And I feel like they were trying to do the same exact thing with Doja Cat when she first like really started popping. They were going to try to find racist comments. They found a whole racist chat room that Doja was a part of. You know what I'm saying? They literally searched high and low to try to bring Doja down. And controversy can do that for you, honey. It can stop your entire career if it's the wrong controversy. So Latto had to nip that in the bud ASAP, or else we don't even know what her career would be now if she was known as Latto the colorist. Okay, so I really feel like people wanted it to be, but her just coming out and just saying like she's not a colorist kind of made everybody drop it. So okay, Latto says she's not a colorist, whatever, moving on. Later in 2020, Latto was featured in XXL's 2020 freshman class. Queen of the South peaked at number 44 on the Billboard 200, and singles like Bitch from the South, Moo Wop, and the promotional single titled No Hook were all featured on the album. Queen of the South would do 14,000 units his first week and 900 units in pure sales, which is pretty good for not even being mainstream yet. After Latto would release Queen of the South, she would go on to be nominated for many awards. September of 2020, Latto was nominated for a BET Hip Hop Award, which she would also perform that same night, but would lose the award to Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, Pop. But that didn't stop Latto from her main goal. In 2021, Latto would release her single, Big Energy. This would be her gateway into the mainstream music. Big Energy was a sample from Genius of Love by Tom Tom Club. Later would be sampled by Mariah Carey's song Fantasy. Then, of course, by Latto, which Mariah would end up jumping on, which we'll get into in a second. Big Energy went viral on TikTok and so much radio play, which got extremely annoying after a while, but would overall be undoubtedly huge success, eventually gaining the attention of Mariah hopping on the song as well. Her all-time moment of this year, 2022, is at the BET Awards. Latto would perform It's Giving and Big Energy. Now, I'm not gonna lie, Big Energy is not one of her best songs in my opinion, but the performance she would give that night would be absolutely immaculate. Highlight of the night, in my opinion. Having Mariah hit the same stage as her so early in Latto's career is actually very good. But I think one thing I've noticed about Latto, and don't take this personally, Latto fans, but she isn't very original. She's just like everyone else. Name one person in the industry that Latto doesn't look like. I think the reason, when I look at Latto, I see Cardi B. When I look at Latto, I see Cuban. I see Molly Brazy. I see Megan, Sweetie. Like, what is she giving that the rest of these women aren't? She's giving us the same thing that the rest of these women are. The ass shaking, the poom poom popping, I took your man, let's get to the bag, the ops is watching type music. What is she giving us? Okay, what is she talking about that nobody else is talking about? Like, let's just keep it real for just a second. It is such an unoriginal world out here, but I'd be wrong to blame the artists. I have to blame the label sometimes too, because sometimes the artists don't have any control of what song they even put out most of the time. These labels have been spying on the pink print for years. They really have. If you think about it, every female rapper out right now is doing what the next bitch is doing. Okay, wearing what the next bitch is wearing. Latto is an example of this sad scenario. Just another label putting out a lookalike who they want to dominate for the next 20 years. But something I found interesting is that after the 2000s, there wasn't a lot of female rappers. And the ones who did kind of just like pop up, they didn't last due to either legal issues, label issues, or they just weren't freaking good enough to have longevity in this industry, or at least not like Nicki did. And that's just okay. But I think that these girls need to find their own voice before they come in. Find your own voice. Take your time. Take your journey slow. Don't be so quick to freaking sign a contract, okay? Because once you sign a contract, you are no longer in control of yourself, and you are no longer your own person. You are a brand now. You are a part of a label, okay? You are now a puppet, all right? All right? These girls need to find their voice before they come into the industry, so they know what to stand on if the labels ever tried them. Like, these rich white cis old men at the top of these labels need to let people find themselves in their own style, their own sound. I don't know what Nicki did to these corporate giants, but they want her gone so bad, and it's so bad that they aren't even willing to put the work into another woman to get her up to Nicki's level. It's not Latto's fault that the industry is out to get someone, so they can't even focus on making Latto unique. I understand that Nicki has done just about everything, and set the bar so high, but it has to be something that she has that these other girls don't. Why is it that these girls are coming in and they're just not lasting? Y'all can scream Cardi B all day long, but even her music is slowly declining day by day. Earlier this year, Latto released her sophomore album, 777. And in comparison to her freshman album, Bitch from the South, it did pretty well, doing 24K in its first week and another 1,500 in pure sales. And many are just genuinely confused on how Latto has been getting so much radio play, but isn't really selling when it comes to album. And this is what I mean when I say your hype on social media doesn't equal album sales. And I feel that that's the part a lot of these new artists aren't understanding. Your talent is what brings your fans. Because if you aren't a Kardashian, or a sweetie, you're not going to benefit because you're pretty and can join in on some TikTok dances. It wasn't a total flop though, because it was about double the streams from her first album. But, with all of the radio plays she's been getting and festivals and the shows that she's been doing, like all the award shows she's also been performing at, like, you would think she has genuine fans, but she doesn't. I mean, if she does, it must be that 21, 24K, okay? And another thing, nobody's really buying albums, okay? Nobody's really buying albums. So, of course, her 1,500 in pure sales, of course, it's going to look like that because no one's actually going out to buy an album. But her streams, there's no excuses, okay? There's just no excuses on the streams part. You would think she would have genuine fans, but she doesn't. Just followers and enough hype in her head to fill up a hot air balloon, okay? And this isn't to bash Latto, like I said, because I love how she's smart and how she's a human being before all this shit, okay? I like the way she handles her business and the way that she flows on most of her songs. But they most definitely, okay, are pushing Latto onto us, okay? They play Latto on the radio more than they played Cardi B. And Cardi B has most def had her fair share of radio play. Maybe a little more of a fair share. Speaking of Cardi B, how is it that Cardi B has been in the game since 2018? Okay, so about 4, 5, 6 years. And there's no sophomore album. But Latto is just coming on the scene for real, 2019, and she's already 2 albums in. This just further proves, one, Latto is the better artist, okay? 2, Cardi B is lazy as fuck, okay, and trying to blame everything on having a family. 3, her label is getting tired of her laziness. And lastly, Nicki is the blueprint, okay, because they are waiting on Nicki's masterpiece of an album for Cardi to put out after and flop because she waited too long. Right now, the math is just not mathing on how there isn't one person right now who can come up against Nicki. I really find it that interesting, and personally, I don't think it'll be one. What I'm saying is that at the moment, I can't put my finger on why these new girls have no longevity. Wait, I can, and it's because there's no originality. Without originality, there will be no longevity. What did Nicki say? When you hop on trends, you become faceless.
Who then are you? We've now forgotten who you are. I don't think people realize that if you jump on every trend, you become faceless. It's like...
This is a deep point.
Yeah, it's important.
That's what Latto is becoming. Megan, Chloe Bailey, Erica Banks. It's just so much copying. Like they're all becoming faceless because they're hopping on these trends. Megan Thee Stallion, all right, she was making poom poom music. Now she's trying to make house music like Drake and Beyonce, performing house music on Good Morning America. Like, why not perform Body or Plan B? Because house music is trending. It's currently popping. That's why I feel like Latto and most of these girls in the next 5 to 10 years will be so faceless that they won't even be able to sell out shows, but can get millions of likes on a TikTok or on Instagram because your music style is inconsistent. Yes, switch it up. I'm here for it. But doing what's trending won't help your career. It won't help your sound. It genuinely won't, because trends come and go. That's one thing I feel like a lot of these women are not understanding. A lot of these new girls who are coming in, what they don't understand is that a trend, it comes and it goes. House music is trending because it's almost fall, okay? It's almost fall. It's about to start cooling down outside. Everybody about to be in the house. So you make a different type of music for that, But summer will come again and we'll be back outside bumping boom boom music. Instead of finding a sound and only switching that sound based on the feedback from your fans rather than what's trending. Now, if Latto comes with house music, okay, well, now if she comes with a full house music album, we'll know that she's just another mindless industry puppet here to try to take Nicki Minaj's place. And not her exactly. Her label, okay? She's just the crash dummy. Her label is controlling the car, but she's the crash dummy. She doesn't see that yet, but we'll just have to wait and see what goes on right there. I definitely have to respect how far she has come, minus the excessive amount of radio play they've been giving her, almost like they've been trying to push her on us. But she does have tons of fans out here in Atlanta and a lot of support elsewhere. Okay, I just hope she can find herself. It's still fairly early to call it over, okay, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that too. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Please hit that notification bell down there so you don't miss a video. I'll see you guys next time.